This is in celebration of Black Friday. Got two layers. I've got a vision layer 2 here. So my green shot is sitting above my plate shot here. So V2, V1. If you want to click between them, you cannot, because obviously 2 lays over the top of V1. Just use this little guy here. If you ever wondered what that is, that will unmix the layers so you can see V1 and you can see V2. I put a basic grade, that's all, just to save a bit of time. I'm going to go to number 2, add a new serial node in here, and I'm going to attempt to key this green screen. And I'm going to use the 3D keyer. It's the cube looking one here. What I like to do is to just turn on the eyedropper plus. That way I can draw more than one stroke, and I'm looking for different areas of luminance there on this green screen. So I might do one more, come down there like that to there. Like that, I've got that covered. It will automatically highlight because I've got this highlight turned on. If you don't like that, you can turn that off. But your plus here, that will enable me to draw 3, and it's use these 3 lines to make my 3D key. I'm going to turn off that by this. There will turn off those lines. So I've got it to there, but you can see I've got the top of the set. Anyone who's taken any of my workshops previously will know, you know, I'm not the best at animating and drawing shapes, but you know, there's always room for improvement, as I say. Now, if I track that forward, man, it's going to track the guys in the boat. The track's going to be hopeless. It's not going to work. So I'm going to send that back to the beginning. I'm going to set my point tracker here. Send this guy up a little bit. I'm going to just use this add point there and put some points on this shape. I'll put one up the top there on the edge of the green screen. So there, point tracker's really cool for just this very, that's Steven Spielberg with my next colouring job. Yeah, he can wait. Let's go forward on those 2 points. Now, that's done a really good job. Probably just got to extend my shape a little bit, that's all. We're in global, so it doesn't matter. I can just extend that off the end here, like that, like that. So just to go over that with the highlight there, I've got that in my key. I'm going to invert that, 3D keyer. Invert is this guy here. Pretty good, so that's masking that out. That's tracked. Got them in a key like that. Highlight off. Here's the magic. Right click, add alpha output. So you right click on the grey background and not the node. Add an alpha output, gives you another little output box here with a blue dot. You take your key output out of the 3D keyer node and drag into there, and that will overlay over the top there of these guys. Let's just remove that shape off the top, shift tilde, get rid of all those shapes, and then I'll jump into my keyer and my matte finesse tool. I'm going to use the despill. I'm going to wind that all the way into there to despill some of that green. I'm going to play that a little bit, and we got a slight little edge, but I try and use least amount of any of this as possible, because anything you do here is normally going to just soften an edge, and maybe too much, you're going to get a slight halo. So if I'm using anything, I'm using very small amounts. I might use just a little bit of the pre-filter on it, not much. And then I'm going to go to shrink it very slightly and just shrink the radius in. Got a very small edge there. I'm going to shrink this guy just a little bit more. Just about there, yeah. Just take the edge off that there like that. Now I could start colouring here, obviously, but I have to colour 2 layers. And I have to go from one to the other. I mean, I could unmix them and grade them reasonably easy. But when I'm looking for a look, really, I just now want to grade this as one comp and not really think about it as being 2. So once I've selected both there, I'll right click and at the top of that option, new compound clip, and call this boat comp. Really creative naming, don't you think? Boat comp, like that. I could then grade that as one. So I could just drop my gamma down there. I might decide that I'd want to make this a little bit of a nighttime shot. Desaturate it. Whatever you want to do here, you're grading shapes. I'm really grading this now as if it was 100% shot. Now, if I wanted to go warmer like that, and I'm thinking, oh, you know, I've done for this old antique feel, but I feel I just want to adjust the comp, and maybe I want to take the boys down and make them just a little bit darker because the background's a bit darker to them. What I can do, which is pretty cool, and that's a comp, I can choose to right click on there, and then I can open in timeline, opens it back out, got the two timelines here displayed, go back into here, then got my node structure because I'm back in 2 layers. I could go in there, change it. I could color them a bit more. Let's add a second serial node. Bring the grade down on the guys in the boat, just like that. Just darken them off just a little bit more. Maybe desaturate them. Maybe I need to adjust my key. Maybe I want to retract that mask. Could be a number of things that I want to do. Let's do something really obvious. I'm going to go in there where I did make that key, and what I'm going to do is to go in there and I'm going to adjust that shape of that key, that line that I made. So if I was to bring that down here and I was to stick that right through that guy like that, then what I'm going to do is go back to my edit, and I'm going to go back to the boat comp one like that, flattened down there. Now we've got boat comp, and we can see my grade is still sitting there. I can turn my grade off, but I fixed up my key. I've darkened the boys down, and you see that nasty little shape I drew there has now masked out that guy in the back of the boat. But it sort of shows the example of how that can work. So you've got the best of both worlds. You're still able to grade as one. You're still able to go in and unpick that and re-affect your green screen if you're looking at it and think, oh, I wish I'd keyed that slightly better or changed it. And I'll sum up by saying green screen stuff is just like experience. The more you do, the more confident you are, the more you know the problems and the headaches in green screens. But there's a lot of it about, especially in reality, talking heads, corporate shows, you're going to be seeing a lot of green screen. So if you've got confidence as a colorist you can do it, then you're really going to cast your net for more work. Enjoy your coloring, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, it's T.